regimen that helps men to naturally improve the condition of their blood vessels, which makes it possible to achieve an erection easily. With regular consumption of the foods and supplements listed in the program, you should be able to say goodbye to these issues permanently. Millions of men around the world have suffered from erectile dysfunction at one point or another in their lifetimes, whether it is an ongoing problem or a momentary surprise. Unfortunately, once is one time too many, and it can be a struggle to rebuild your confidence and your sex life after an event like that. Instead of allowing yourself to become self-conscious, try the Erectile Booster method to help fix the problem instead. The Erectile Booster method is a book that contains all of the information to take control of your erections. With the right nutrients, the author of this method claims that you can increase the blood flow in your penis naturally. Since proper blood circulation is the key to achieving an erection, following along with this plan is definitely in your best interest.
I realized I had a problem when I laid on the massage table of some Asian joint.
Hi, I'm Jared, and the story I'm about to tell you today is extremely painful and humiliating. Honestly, it almost ruined my entire marriage and life, all because of how erectile dysfunction shamed and embarrassed me. Now, the only reason I'm willing to share this with you today is because of my horrifying and constant embarrassment eventually led me to the real source of what causes ED, which doesn't have anything at all to do with low testosterone levels or any other cause you may have read about. According to research out of the University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA, and various other prestigious universities, the root cause has been traced to something other than what most expected was the truth. If you're currently taking testosterone supplements to get rid of your ED, more than likely, you are being lied to. With that in mind, in this presentation, you're going to learn the truth about how I was able to cure my ED forever within hours, without, 1, costly, heart-destroying drugs like Cialis and Viagra, which do nothing for the real cause of ED, 2, penis pumps, which actually cause pain, bruising, numbness, and pinpoint-sized red dots, which are painful bleeding under the surface of the skin. 3, or even paying $2,500 or more for low-T therapy that simply doesn't work and can put you at risk for blood clots, life-threatening heart attacks, strokes, and even prostate cancer. Giving me the chance to enjoy full continuous erections literally any time I want, and turning back the clock more than 10 years, giving my wife back the vibrant and powerful man she'd been desperately longing for. After using this unconventional method for yourself, you too will start experiencing the most fulfilling, long-lasting, and powerful erections of your life, no matter how old you are, or whether you just want to add a surge of energy to your sex life, even if you've battled day and night with symptoms of ED. Now, you're probably thinking this sounds foolish or far-fetched, and I completely understand. I used to be just like you, thinking the only way possible to solve my ED problems was paying thousands of dollars per year to large pharmaceutical companies like Pfizer and Eli Lilly, even as they continue making billions of dollars off our painful, uncomfortable, and humiliating situation. Therefore, all I want from you right now is to pay close attention to what I'm about to tell you for the next few minutes as I uncover the science behind the ED curing technique I'll be sharing in this presentation. I'll also show you why this top-secret formula that Big Pharma would absolutely do anything to keep you from knowing can finally give you the ability to naturally enjoy erections anytime you want. That's exactly what's already happened for 87,296 people across the world. People like Brian S. of Raleigh, North Carolina, who says, I never knew there was a completely natural way to get an erection anytime I want, especially without the use of Viagra or Cialis, which I was spending over $16 per pill. I also never realized it was destroying my heart and putting me at risk of a heart attack or stroke, which is really scary being only 46 years old. I wish I knew about your simple ED formula a long time ago. My love life had been seriously suffering, and my wife was ready to leave me because of it. After trying a bunch of other bogus methods that didn't work, I decided I had nothing to lose and wanted to give your method a try. Jared, I'm so happy I did. Within 48 hours, I was getting the longest, most powerful erections of my life. I was not only in bed with my wife all night long, my marriage was finally restored thanks to your help. I can't thank you enough. Brian. And Mark Boyd of Houston, Texas, who says, Before I stumbled on your website, I was extremely depressed. My sex life with my wife was pretty much non-existent. It was so embarrassing and humiliating not to be able to keep an erection. I tried almost every method, including low T therapy, but I kept developing blood clots and was forced to stop. I even had a friend recommend I try some herbal remedies they sell at my local pharmacy, but after reading all the ingredients and doing my own research, there was no way I was putting those frightening substances into my body, which also came with a ton of side effects. That's what makes the natural ED curing technique you share in your presentation so different. I don't have to go to buy any expensive pills. All I have to do is follow the easy formula you laid out for me step by step to get rock-hard erections on demand. You have completely saved my marriage and have given me my wife back. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Mark. And Joel Greer of Denver, Colorado, who writes, at age 50, I was given a second chance at a new relationship after my recent divorce. But when erectile dysfunction got in the way of my new love, I knew something had to be done. I tried oral medications for ED, but they just weren't effective. I was certainly disappointed these medications didn't work and didn't know what other options were available to me. Then I found your website, and the best part is all your methods are all natural and completely safe. I had no idea these store-bought ingredients actually worked, but was pleasantly surprised there was something easy, painless, and quick that really worked for me. Years later, this method continues to be very successful for me. It's not very often you get a second chance to start over at my age, and I'm very grateful for my relationship with a wonderful woman and for finding your website. By following your method step by step, which you told me to do in your presentation, my youth, vitality, and sex drive have been restored. I'm no longer nervous and can enjoy sex any time I want. Thanks so much. Joel. These are just a few of the 87,296 people who've already used these methods in this presentation to forever cure their ED problems and have erections anytime they want, often in as few as 48 hours. Now, I'm going to tell you exactly how the method I've discovered works in just a second, but before I do, I know you probably want to know who I am and how I know what I know. Well, as I said earlier, my name is Jared Payne. I'm 53 years old and I live in Palm Springs, California. And about 3 years ago, my wife cut off my penis with a razor-sharp kitchen knife. It happened on her 49th birthday, July 23rd, 2014. As you might imagine, she was pretty upset with the idea of being almost 50 years old. Like many women in their late 40s, they get really worried about their age. Leading up to her birthday, she'd been acting very moody and depressed for what seemed like months. I hated seeing my wife like this, and I knew something had to be done. So I did what any other loving husband might do. I saved up every penny I could for the next few weeks to buy her a beautiful diamond necklace in hopes of making her feel better. I was planning on giving her this necklace when I took her out to her favorite restaurant, but as the day came near, I felt she needed to have it sooner than later. After all, it wasn't easy saving up for it, and I needed to see her smile again. Around 3 p.m. on that fateful day, I left work and hurried home to surprise her. I parked about a block away from the house so she wouldn't see or hear me in the driveway. I tiptoed as quietly as I could, sneaking in through the back door that we hardly ever used. As soon as I stepped foot in the house, I had a sinking feeling in my stomach. I knew something strange was going on. From the hallway, I heard my wife bawling her eyes out all the way in through the hallway from the bedroom. It really shocked and it startled me. All I could do was stand there quietly and listen to the words she was saying. The words she said upset me more than anything else I'd ever experienced in my life, both physically and emotionally. She was on the phone with her best friend Jill, who she'd known since grade school. And what she was talking about was me. Yes, I still love him, she said. We've been married for 23 years. It has nothing to do with love. It has to do with how unsatisfied I am. Then, she proceeded to say, he just isn't as good as he used to be, you know. In the past, we used to have sex all the time, and now he never wants to do it anymore. I think it may be because he's afraid he can't get an erection anymore. Maybe he isn't attracted to me any longer or something. Lately, I've been feeling very depressed, unattractive, and undesirable, and now I'm scared to death to even try to have sex with him in fear of rejection. The more I think about it, I'm coming to the realization that it's maybe not me. He's getting older, and I feel he's just not the man he once was. I guess this is part of life, and I need to accept the fact that I'll be unsatisfied and sexually frustrated for the rest of my life. This really hurts, because I know in my heart that I'm still pretty. To be quite honest, the other men come up to me and tell me how beautiful I am all the time, so I know I still got it, you know? And never in my life would I ever cheat on Jared, but it still makes me feel good to know I'm still wanted and attractive to other men. I can't stop thinking about what it would be like to be with a real man who still has a strong sex drive, one that can get an erection anytime he wants and satisfies me anytime he wants. It felt like she just cut off my man part. It was that unbearably painful. Quietly, I snuck right out through the back door and walked to my car, driving to the nearest park. I got out of my car and walked over to the picnic table, sat down, and I just burst into tears for more than a few hours while trying to catch my breath. I was in total disbelief to hear my wife talking about me that way, but the more I sat there thinking about it, and the more honest I was with myself, it was starting to make sense. As brutally honest as it was true. I'd been struggling over the years with getting an erection and keeping one going. Even though some of the ED pills I used helped a little, they came with so many negative side effects I had to stop. The first issue was these pills just kept sucking the money right out of my bank account. I was paying nearly $500 per month and spending thousands of dollars per year, money I just couldn't afford to spend anymore. Not to mention how humiliating it is to buy these pills altogether, or how sick they were making me. Each time I took them, I started to get stomach pains, vomiting, and other symptoms. The worst part is I was becoming more and more afraid of being intimate with my wife, due in large part to the fact that I had to either force myself to have sex with her or dodge it completely. My confidence level was at an all-time low. Trust me, I didn't want to use pills at all, but it looked as if the most important part of my body wouldn't function without them, which made both me and my wife feel enormously unhappy. I just want you to know that it used to never be like this. In my 20s, I prided myself on my strength and stamina. I was able to have sex all night long, and all the women I've ever been with told me how much they loved being intimate with me. I don't know about you, but for me, having sex every day or every other day, lasting as long as I want and giving my partner multiple orgasms, had always come naturally for me. So, what in the heck happened to me? How did I go from being a superstar in the bedroom to a total failure? Was it because I was getting up there in age? Or was something actually wrong with me? After hearing my wife talk to Jill on the phone, I really didn't know anymore. Out of desperation, I decided to devote every minute of my day looking for a treatment for my erectile dysfunction. I was learning exactly how prescription drugs for ED like Cialis and Viagra actually worked, and studying any potential options that wouldn't leave me feeling nauseating, hopeless, and with an empty wallet. All of the research I was doing was done in complete privacy, coming home from work around 5 p.m., and barricading myself in my home office until well after 2 a.m., I was living on only a few hours of sleep each night. My relationship with my wife continued to grow further and further apart during this time, as she didn't know what I was doing or why I wasn't spending any time with her. I was coming up with all kinds of reasons why I couldn't see her, but nothing seemed to work. She was becoming very concerned I was staying away from her because I didn't love her anymore. The best I could do was keep telling her that I love her and continue to find a natural way to treat my ED. I knew it would all be worth it. After all, sex is a critical part of your relationship at any stage of your life. Being intimate creates a special bond between you and your loved one. It's what molds your relationship into a healthy one. Letting your partner know you are just as crazy about them now as you were on the first day you met them. At the start of my research, it was moving slowly because I was hitting a lot of stumbling blocks on the way. I was looking at everything, including low T therapies, and regardless of what the radio, TV ads, and even what some doctors will tell you, they were basically useless when it came to helping cure ED. According to the urology department at UCLA, only 5% of all ED cases come from low testosterone. Additionally, even if I was part of the 5% of these people whose ED would be helped by low T injections or treatments, I would have to shell out almost $300 per injection, and more than $2,500 for each complete treatment cycle. Also, I can't forget about the fact that scientists are connecting low T injections and gels to prostate cancer and heart attacks. causing the FDA to think about outlawing them outright. Obviously, I looked at familiar ED pills like Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, along with the other less well-known ones. There were just so many other dangerous, life-threatening side effects associated with these drugs that using them scared the living daylights out of me. Headache, flushing in the face, neck, or chest, upset stomach, indigestion, abnormal vision, nasal congestion, back pain, muscular pain or tenderness, nausea, dizziness, rash, diarrhea, and more serious side effects. Change or loss of vision, ringing in the ears or hearing loss, chest pain or irregular heartbeat, shortness of breath, lightheadedness, swelling in the hands, ankles, and feet, and last but not least, heart attack or stroke. And this is just a small fraction of the side effects. I also really focused on the aspect of exercising because I kept reading that doing cardio was vital for blood flow. But the correlation between exercise and the ability to both get and maintain erections on demand is non-existent. Just consider this for a second. There's absolutely no exercise that's clearly intended to help you with ED, correct? Therefore, going to the gym may benefit me overall. It certainly wasn't going to provide me with the answer I was looking for. After researching day in and day out for the first month, I had almost nothing to show for my efforts. It made me want to give up. I was starting to believe that maybe I was just meant to live out the rest of my life in sexual frustration, accepting the fact that my wife may leave me or cheat on me. In my most miserable times, I thought maybe I should even tell her to go have an affair with someone else that could satisfy her, so it wouldn't come as a surprise when she did it anyway. But then I remembered the phone conversation I'd overheard, the way she was bawling her eyes out, how she didn't feel like I was a real man anymore, how embarrassed I was. And I knew that I could never give up and do everything possible to regain my energy, reclaim my pride, and save my marriage for both me and my wife. This made me keep pushing forward with my research efforts, and thank God I did, because even though I didn't know it at the time, the breakthrough I'd been longing for was right around the corner. Something that would finally give me the chance to get powerful and long-lasting erections anytime I want, which has since helped more than 87,296 people experience the same unbelievable results. So, first let me briefly tell you how this formula came about. After an unsatisfying first month of learning every low-T treatment, ED medication, exercise programs, and even over-the-counter extracts like Vimax and horny goatweed, I decided to go back to where it all started and spend less time looking at the treatments for ED and look more at the actual root cause of our erection problems. So I started learning everything I could get my hands on. This included periodicals, databases, print resources, and even anatomy, biology, and life science textbooks. And that's when things started to come together for me. You see, I came to the conclusion that regardless of what Big Pharma and the supplement makers want you to think, erectile dysfunction really isn't a mystifying secret. It's actually very easy to understand, and I'll tell you why right now. Let's first look at how an erection really works. We'll call the next 15 seconds an introductory lesson on erections, and here goes. The penis has two chambers inside of it. Those chambers are referred to as the corpora cavernosa. The corpora cavernosa runs the length of the organ and contains a maze of blood vessels. When the blood vessels relax and open up, blood flows through the arteries to fill them. That blood is trapped under high pressure, creating an erection. Sounds simple, right? That's essentially all that an erection is. Now, the reason I just told you all of this is that unless you understand how an erection really works, you won't be able to comprehend the biology behind ED. So, let's give you another quick lesson, and we'll call this one ED Basics. Don't worry, this is very simple to understand. When you're having problems getting an erection, you will stay flimsy. This is because the vessels in your penis are not properly relaxing, so blood cannot flow through. It's definitely not mental. Scientific researchers at UCLA and other prestigious universities have already confirmed that in study after study, it is simply an issue of vessels in your penis not letting blood in. This is all somewhat common knowledge, even though the multi-billion-dollar ED treatment manufacturing companies wished it wasn't. These companies want you to believe that you can't fix your erection issues unless you take their high-priced and heart attack-reducing pills. But the more I happened to think about it, the less sense it made to me why we should need to rely on pills or medications. I thought to myself, there has to be a way to naturally relax those blood vessels. And with this fresh in my head, I started analyzing and studying over 3,000 years of ancient therapies. I made a very detailed list of bizarre aphrodisiacs like date palm pollen, DPP, Podosia agrestis, Chione venosa, and Eurycoma longifolia, to name a few, using myself as a human test subject, testing every single option accessible to me. And I'm sorry to let you know that most of these ancient herbal therapies I experimented with didn't seem to do anything but make me nervous, uneasy, and want to vomit. This included both the herbal blends you can order online and all the bizarre extracts you can buy at the health food store. I also learned proper breathing techniques, Pilates, yoga, and Tai Chi. These techniques calmed me down, but definitely didn't help me get or maintain an erection. So I was at another dead end in the road when it came to all of the ancient therapies and herbs. Rather than just giving up, I next shifted my entire effort to everyday science. And through apparently never-ending research, I started to realize that there were literally dozens of enzymes, amino acids, proteins, and other natural chemicals that are either already inside of our bodies or that are found in many common foods and supplements you can buy at your local grocery store, that have been scientifically tested in study after study to relax blood vessels in your body while increasing your blood flow, which meant that if I could find the right formula of these naturally occurring biological building blocks and figure out how to get them into my body the right way, it would mean that they would instantly improve my ability to get and keep erections, both in the short and long term. As I said before, all it takes to achieve an erection is relaxed blood vessels, which then allows the blood to flow in and create pressure in your penis. So, I wrote down all of the foods and supplements that I researched, the ones that contained the different enzymes, amino acids, and proteins that were proven to relax blood vessels and increase blood flow, and I went on a supermarket trip. The very first night, I began experimenting with different nutritional mixtures and writing down each one in my notebook. Well, as you can probably imagine, it was a painfully slow process, and in the beginning I tried out around 60 to 70 different food supplement combinations with absolutely no clear results. Even though I wasn't achieving the results I should have been, I kept pushing harder and harder. After all, it was just too obvious why this should work, and I really had no other choices available. And then, on October 26, 2014, it suddenly happened. I was sitting in my office writing down the latest food supplement mixtures I planned to try the following day, when all of a sudden I was getting enormously hard. Within just a few minutes, I had one of the most enlarged and biggest erections I'd ever had in my entire life, even stronger than when I was in my early 20s. And you might laugh at this, but the first thing I did was run into the bedroom to find my wife. My wife was in complete shock and didn't know what the heck was going on or what had gotten into me. She was probably so happy and relieved that I was actually trying to be intimate with her. And over the next solid hour, we had the absolute best sex we'd ever had in the last 20 years. I was throbbing the whole time, and she could feel it. And once we were done, she asked me, what the heck happened? Did I take Viagra, Cialis, or some other ED pill? No, I proceeded to tell her. That's when I finally decided to spill the beans and let her know everything I'd been secretly doing. I told her about the conversation with Jill that I'd accidentally overheard, how it completely embarrassed and humiliated me, and how I'd been so desperate to restore my manhood back so I could be intimate with her again and please her again, and that was the reason I was locking myself up in my office each night. At first, my wife was angry that I hadn't been telling her the truth, but as I continued to explain to her everything that I'd gone through, the resentment she had quickly vanished and turned into an understanding and gratefulness for what I'd done for myself and for her. And after roughly an hour of talking, she turned to me with a smile and said, I'm ready for us to try out your discovery again. To be quite honest, I was a little worried when she told me this because even though I'd been extremely hard the first time we'd made love, I was uncertain that I could be able to repeat those sort of results just 1 hour after finishing. Almost immediately after she kissed me, however, I became extremely hard again, and all of my worries quickly disappeared. And after another intimate session that night, and 3 more the following day, I finally got out of bed, hurried to my office, and looked through my notebook. I needed to pretend to be a detective because even though I'd had such amazing results the night before, I'd also been experimenting with a lot of different combinations, so I wasn't 100% sure which one had been the powerful, life-changing combination I'd been praying for. Luckily, however, it didn't take me long to figure it out. I simply repeated the one I'd used the day before, having a small snack with the foods that included the amino acids, enzymes, and proteins I'd wanted, and then taking a simple-to-find supplement that contained another important amino acid. True enough, that night as I was enjoying a movie with my wife, I quickly got another enormous, long-lasting erection. Now, I won't give you all the juicy details just yet, but let's just say that for the next 30 days, there was really only one activity that my wife and I were doing in our spare time, and I was in absolute awe and excited that I could now have sex with my wife anytime we wanted, and I could get a powerful and huge erection on demand. What was really neat about this entire formula is that it wasn't just one single food item that was curing my ED. It was the exact amino acids, enzymes, and proteins that these food items carried with them, which meant that even if I switched this formula up and experimented with different combinations of these foods and supplements, the results were still exceptionally the same and remarkable. To be honest with you, I started to get these erections almost too much. I would just be sitting there in my office, working away on my computer, and suddenly I'd get a massive erection. So eventually I had to adjust the food supplement plan I was following and actually decrease my consumption. It wasn't very hard for me, though, and I wrote down the results again in my notebook. All my friends were very curious about my newfound vitality, how I was no longer depressed, and how my confidence level was through the roof, more than it has ever been. They wanted to know what had gotten into me. Was I using penis pumps, low T therapies, exercising more? While it was kind of awkward to talk to my friends about this, I was so proud of my discovery that it made it easy to explain it to them. It was hilarious seeing every one of them instantly want to try out my ED cure for themselves. So I wrote out everything in a comprehensive but easy-to-follow blueprint. I told them which of the amino acids, enzymes, and proteins they needed to add to their diet, and a list of foods and supplements that contained each one of them. I gave them very specific directions on combining everything for maximum absorption into the body, which to have on a full stomach and which to have on an empty stomach. I even provided them with instructions for how to adjust the system for their own personal needs, so that they wouldn't have to be concerned about walking around with a never-ending erection, but could just get one whenever they wanted to. Some of my friends were non-believers at first, because this formula seemed almost too simple, but sure enough, within 2 days of trying my all-natural erection formula for themselves, every single one of my friends were either calling me or texting me to share the news at how well it had actually worked. Which is the main reason why I made this website and the presentation you're watching right now. You see, at first I thought about trying to sell this natural ED cure I discovered to a pharmaceutical company or a manufacturer of non-prescription male enhancement products. But there is absolutely no way Pfizer, Eli Lilly, or any other drug manufacturer would be open to sharing what I developed with the world. After all, they didn't want to actually cure you of your ED. They just want you to keep purchasing their expensive pills so they can keep making billions of dollars off of your embarrassing illness. And because I had nowhere else to take this formula, or knew no other way to get it out there, I decided that the best way for sharing my game-changing discovery was by putting up this website and getting this natural method into the hands of as many people as possible, which is exactly what I'm going to do right now. I call my breakthrough method Erectile Booster Method. It's the only all-natural and 100% proven system for quickly curing your ED while restoring back the strength and energy you thought you'd lost forever. You'll be given exclusive access to the full list of the different amino acids, enzymes, and proteins to be added to your diet, and you'll also be shown which foods and supplements contain these natural components, all of which increase your blood flow and relax the vessels in your penis. You'll also have the blueprints on how and when to combine them each day for the quickest results possible. What's great is that because there are just a few key biological mixtures that I've found to be extremely effective, you'll have a lot of choices here, so you can pick and choose combinations as you wish and without anyone ever knowing that you're secretly curing your ED. Inside the Erectile Booster Method, you'll also get exclusive info on how you can modify the program to meet your exact needs, so that if you start getting erections too often, or even if you don't have any ED issues, just want to enjoy longer, more powerful erections and girth, you can easily adjust this program to a level that's right for you. This is 100% all natural, 100% side effect free, and 100% proven to work. All you need is around $15 worth of common items you can purchase at the grocery store. And not only will you see results in the next 24 to 48 hours, but they will last forever. This is because once those vessels are continually relaxed using the method inside, they will continue staying relaxed naturally without any help whatsoever. Which is why I recommend that you keep using this program once you have it, because there's absolutely zero reason not to. Improved blood flow in your body is good for you anyway, but of course it's optional. You can just use it for 14 days and get thicker, healthier, and erections virtually any time you want for the rest of your life. Picture in your head having the ability to have instantaneous, long-lasting erections anytime you want, whenever you want. To never have that nervousness feeling about being intimate with your loved one again. To feel that huge flow of confidence that comes from knowing you're a real man again. That's what 87,296 others just like you have already done. People like Paul W. of Salt Lake City who says, "Hey Jared, just wanted to personally thank you for making your erectile booster method available to the public. I know it took a lot of courage to put your name out there, but you are seriously a lifesaver, and I don't know how to thank you enough. Before I found your website, it was almost 2 years since my last erection. I tried everything, Viagra, Cialis, penis pumps, and also low-T injections to name a few. I was spending thousands of dollars a month, and my embarrassing problem was not being fixed. My doctor told me the only way to fix my ED would be to have some kind of insane surgery, which would end up costing me almost $30,000, and my insurance would not cover it. It was absolutely devastating hearing this news, as I definitely didn't have this kind of money. This was all before I found your website. I started using your guide on a Friday as soon as I got out of work, and by the time I went back to work on Monday, I was getting multiple erections per day. Since then, I've never had a problem getting an erection anytime I want. My doctor's jaw dropped to the floor after he saw I was fully functional again. He told me what you're doing made total sense, and he was amazed with how easy it was to get those blood vessels to relax naturally, allowing the blood to flow in again. I just wanted to tell anyone who is still undecided about your program to get it now. It's been one of the best investments of my life, and honestly, I can't thank you enough." And Kurt Walker of Dallas, Texas, who wrote to say, "Hi, Jared. The first thing I want to tell you is thank you. When a friend gave me a copy of your guide, he couldn't stop talking about it. I'm 57 years old, and I've never had problems getting it up, like most people my age. He told me he learned in your guide that even if you don't have any ED issues, just want to enjoy longer, more powerful erections and girth, to give your method a try. And boy, am I glad I did. I honestly thought the erections I was having were normal, but the ones I was getting now were fuller, harder, and lasting longer than I have ever experienced in my life. Not to mention that it was pulsating the entire time, and my girlfriend loved it. Lately, we've been having sex 3 times a day, and she just can't get enough of it. You're the man, Jared. Thanks." Now, given what erectile booster method is, how it's 100% proven to work, and the fact that it's already been working for more than 87,296 people just like you can probably understand why I was originally going to sell this guide for $299. When you think about it, that's still a few $100s less than a month's supply of Viagra, Cialis, or any other ED drug on the market. These drugs may help you in the short term, but the long term, they never will. Remember, these pharma companies are money hungry and only want to keep making billions off of your embarrassing problem. Also, those ED drugs come with serious and scary side effects, like some of the ones you saw listed earlier. I know you'd probably do anything to restore your vitality back and to never feel nervousness or humiliation again when it comes to having or keeping erections again. But would you do it at the risk of also heart disease, nerve disease, bleeding from the lungs, seizures, diabetes, blindness, depression? The health risks for these ED drugs are extremely high. Not to mention it would cost you an average $5,000 per year or more, especially when you compare it to a 100% all-natural treatment for your ED that requires you to spend $15 or less at the grocery store, and that is also free from any side effects. $299 is also less than it would cost you for just one single low-T injection, which can help you with vitality, muscle growth, energy, and things like that. But it comes with an expensive price tag of $2,500 or more over the course of an entire course of treatment, and putting you at risk of a very large array of health risks. These risks include heart attacks and cancer, which is why the FDA is working on banning these injections anyway. Additionally, as I already mentioned, scientists at UCLA, one of the most prestigious schools in the world, have already proven that less than 5% of ED issues are related to low T, meaning that even if you do get injection after injection of pure artificial testosterone thrust into your body, the odds are it won't do anything for you anyway. So, with all of that in mind, it should be clear why I think $299 for the erectile booster method is an unbelievable steal. While I like the thought of making money for years of trial and error, research, and blood, sweat, and tears I put into finding a solution to help men with ED worldwide, it just isn't about the money at all for me. I remember that feeling of depression, watching my wife and I grow further apart, simply because there was no intimacy. I'll never forget that painful phone call my wife had with her friend Jill. The embarrassment, the thought of her imagining herself with other men because I couldn't satisfy her, was unbearable. It was the worst feeling in the world, and something that no other prideful man should ever have to go through. Which is why there's absolutely no way on this earth I could ask you to pay $299 for Erectile Booster Method, and why instead of even asking you to pay $199, or even just $99 for this 100% proven-to-work guide that's already been used by more than 87,296 other people just like you, if you act today, and only if this website is still up, which may not be for much longer, you can get the Erectile Booster Method, the entire food list, the full list of mixtures and essentials, and the guide to combining them, the daily portion amounts, and everything else, for nothing but a one-time investment. To get started, simply click the Add to Cart button you see below this presentation right now. Your purchase will be completely confidential. That button will take you to the secure checkout page, which looks like this, where you'll enter your basic information. And then, on the very next page, you'll get immediate access to the entire Erectile Booster Method, the lists, the daily guide, and everything else. It's all yours, and you can be using it in as little as 2 minutes from now. Plus, to make your decision even more easier, you can view the entire program on any computer, smartphone, or tablet, or download it, or even print out as many copies as you want, even share it with your friends if you'd like. I'm also so confident in this product that I'll also offer you a full 60-day, 100% money-back guarantee. Here's how it works. You simply click the Add to Cart button that's below this presentation, get everything that's included in this guide, and try out this program for yourself today. You'll then have 60 full days to evaluate the powerful, long-lasting, and immediate erection-generating program that I've created. Take your time and go through this entire program, follow the simple step-by-step instructions that are laid out for you inside, and I guarantee you will be completely surprised by how instant and full the erections you get are, and how you're able to achieve them anytime you want, on demand. And if you're not happy with your purchase today for any reason at all, simply send me an email to the address I'll give you inside the program, and I will instantly refund your entire purchase with no questions asked. You've absolutely nothing to lose here, as I'm going to take all the risks. Erectile Booster Method will change your life completely. It will cure the intimacy issues you may be having in the bedroom. It will restore your vitality, make you feel like a full and complete man again, and your confidence level will be through the roof. But if you're ready to get started, you really do need to act fast. I know this might seem a little crazy, my wife is a little uncomfortable with the fact that so many people are now using a system that I put my name on. Even though she understands how many men this is helping, how much good it's doing in the world, she's asked me to limit the total number of copies I give away to right over 90,000. I'll be completely honest with you, this is still up for debate, but I know the saying, a happy wife is a happy life, is very true. Meaning, I probably need to listen to my wife. If you come back to this website in a week or maybe 2 weeks from now and you find that this presentation is gone, regretfully, I won't be able to do anything for you. But why would you even want to wait or put this investment off any longer? You've nothing to lose and everything to gain. Your results are guaranteed and backed by a 100% 60-day money-back guarantee. Start curing your ED problems in less than 48 hours from this very moment forward. The choice is yours, and this presentation will soon be finished, so you'll need to decide fast. You can just leave this page and do nothing, which is fine. But if you suffer from ED, what's going to change in your life? Are you going to keep dumping thousands of dollars per year on the drugs and medications that have hundreds of harmful side effects? Or keep trying low-T injections that not only do not work to treat ED, cost more than $2,500 for a full treatment? Or will you continue to struggle, keep feeling sexually frustrated, and keep seeing your love life suffer? I don't mean to be so tough on you, but that's just the cold hard facts behind all of these decisions, which makes them not even close to viable options. Try the Erectile Booster method right now, 100% risk-free. Within 48 hours, you'll be getting the most rock-hard, long-lasting erections in your life, on demand, without the use of any drugs, penis pumps, or dangerous low-T treatments. The choice is yours, but you already know what you need to do here. So, click the Add to Cart button below this presentation now, start today, and I'll see you on the inside. Sincerely, Jared Payne. You still here? That's perfectly fine. I know we covered a lot of material in this presentation, and you still may have some questions. To make everything easier, I went ahead and took a few moments to answer some common questions people have asked me about the Erectile Booster method. How does this program work again? Well, like discussed in this presentation, the answer to having and keeping an erection is simply having the blood vessels in your penis relax. When the blood vessels relax and open up, blood flows through. That blood is trapped, creating an erection. Remember the old saying, life is in the blood? And, well, that can't flow without relaxed vessels. When you have ED, however, these blood vessels aren't relaxing like they're supposed to, and as an outcome, the blood can't get through easily, therefore giving you a very flimsy erection or no erection at all. To tell you the truth, there are lots of enzymes, amino acids, proteins, and other organic compounds that are found in all kinds of common food items and supplements that are available at the grocery store for about $15, and that will naturally relax the vessels inside your penis, which allows the blood to flow in. Once this happens, your ED problems will go away, and you can start getting erections anytime you want, almost as if you were in your early 20s again. What's included inside the Erectile Booster Method program again? Inside the Erectile Booster Method, you'll get a full list of all the different enzymes, amino acids, proteins, and other organic compounds to aid in curing your ED problem. More notably, all the different common foods and supplements that contain them will be revealed. I'll even give you the exact blueprints on how you can combine everything to quickly get the results you want. The best part of this program is that you can adjust it at any time to a level that fits you. This is essential because a lot of guys discover that once they follow this guide for a few days, they're actually getting erections too frequently, and they need to cut back a bit. So I'll show you what to do if this happens to you so that you can achieve the perfect level of stimulation at all times. How long does it usually take to see results? Normally, within 24 hours, you'll start experiencing your first rock-hard, long-lasting erection when starting this program. After that, you'll be able to get erections anytime you want, and those erections will last as long as you want them to. What happens after I click Add to Cart? Once you click on the Add to Cart button that's right below this video, you'll be taken to our secure checkout page. Just put it in your information and you'll be receiving